Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make is actually using fresh cherries, but we're going to make a cherry upside down cake. And it is a good one. So I want to start to get you prepped a little bit ahead of time and save some time when you make this recipe. You can use a 9-inch round pan if you prefer. I went ahead and I'm using this particular one today. What you're going to do is you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter. And what I do is I put the butter in my pan. I put it in the microwave just till I melt it. And then you'll need to add 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. And then just take a spoon and mix it together. Put it back in your microwave just till everything melts, okay? And that shouldn't take very long. I was doing it like at 10-second intervals and checking it. And then just, set it aside, okay? So again, 4 tablespoons of butter, melt it, and then add your 2/3 cup of granulated sugar, stir it up a little bit, put it back in your microwave for 10 seconds or so, whatever it might take, because all microwaves are so different. And then once it's melted, then make sure it's all evenly in your pan, and then just set it aside. Now, to save also some time, I started working on the batter. And what I did already is you'll need 3 eggs at room temperature. And go ahead and beat them. You can use your stand-up as I am, or your hand mixer works fantastic also. Take your 3 eggs, and I like to beat mine for about 3 minutes. You want them really light and really fluffy, okay? Then after that 3 minutes, I add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar to the eggs. And I beat that on high anywhere from 1 minute to 2 minutes. So altogether, about the total of 5 minutes altogether. And you can go ahead and use your wire whip if you prefer, or you can use your paddle, if you want. I was going to grab it, but I'm sure you know all what a paddle is. You can beat it with your paddle, but I find when I use my wire whip, I don't know, I like it better, but it's going to come out. I've done them both using the paddle too. Okay, so 3 minutes, room temperature eggs, beat them for about 3 minutes and on high, and then add your 2/3 cup of granulated sugar. Now, you want to beat them till it really forms what they call a ribbon trail in it. So I'm going to turn mine on for a second, and then I'm going to kind of show you what I meant by the ribbon trail. Okay, I want to see if I can, let me see, I think I'm going to have to take the whip right out of there. Okay, and I don't know if you can see it, but when I'm going through with my spatula, it leaves like a little bit of a trail of the batter. Not the batter, I'm sorry, forgive me. The eggs and the sugar, okay? So you really want to, have it really nice and fluffy. Okay, now the rest of it, you are going to fold it by hand. So you're not going to use, you won't need to beat anymore, okay, because you want to do the rest by hand. Also, you're going to need to set aside 3 tablespoons of butter. Melt it. I melt it in my microwave into this little bowl, and I let it cool. Okay, that's 3 tablespoons. Now, you're going to need all-purpose flour. So you're going to be using 2/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and you're also going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so I'm just going to put it together with my all-purpose flour, and then just give it a little stir here. Okay, I hope you can see that. All right, and then I'm gradually going to fold it into the fluffy eggs sugar mixture. And then when I get done with it, then I'm going to add that cooled butter, that 3 tablespoons of cooled. So I try to do it in about three batches of the flour, and then just lightly fold it. You want to leave the air in, because the more you beat it, you lose the air. So this is the second part of the flour. And then just fold it as gently as you can. But you want to mix it. I mean, you want it combined. Don't get me wrong, you know. You want to be gentle with it, but you do want to combine it, okay? All right, that's the rest of my flour and my baking powder. And then just finish folding till it's combined. Again, try to keep that air in it as much as you can. But again, you really want to make sure that that dry is now combined with the wet mixture, okay? And I'm just getting to the bottom a little bit better, because it's a deep bowl. It's a big one. Okay, all right. And then add your cooled butter in, and then fold that in. Now, you're also going to be needing 12 to 14 ounces of fresh cherries, without the pits, of course. You're probably going to say, why would she say that? You know, of course we know that. I know that. But I like to mention those things just in case. And what I did was I took all the pits out of my cherries, and then you do want to drain them. And then you want to put them on a paper towel to dry them, pat them dry, and then once from the paper towel, I put them on a clean kitchen towel, cover them up to absorb all the excess liquid out of them. Okay, you don't want to, you know, smash them totally either when you're getting the liquid out, but between the paper towel and the kitchen towel, mine come out pretty good, okay? So that was, like I said, 12 to 14 ounces of the fresh cherries, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to put our cherries now on top of that melted and sugar, butter and sugar, and then I'm just going to place my cherries on top and, you know, try to even them out, fill it all in as best as you can so there's no gaps in it. I'll try to do it quickly here and move it along for the video. And it really, you can cover it nicely with the 12 ounces, you know, unless you want to use the whole 14 ounces of the cherries. Okay, and some of mine are, you know, they're half. Some are broken up a little bit more than that, but that's okay. It's going to taste really good, regardless if the cherry is, you know, not completely intact, and it might be into little pieces. Okay, all right. So I think I'm not going to use all mine up. I'm going to stay around that 12 ounces and put that aside. Okay, so then now you have your cherries on top, and then we're just going to put this nice fluffy batter, and I hope you can see it as it's coming out and I'm pouring it out, all the air that's still left in it. Let me get the rest of it out. I'm going to try to lower my bowl as far down to the pan. I really don't want to lose that air. And then just lightly with a spoon or a spatula, cover up all those cherries with your batter. You're going to put this in a 350 degree oven, and it's going to take you anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. So you don't want to over bake this cake either, that it becomes, too dry. I like to, use either a cake tester or a toothpick just to see how, how it's coming along. Start checking. I like to check mine first at really about 25 minutes just to see how everything is going. But again, just to repeat, 350 degrees, anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. Now, when it comes out of the oven, put it on a cooling rack for just about 5 minutes or so. Then after the 5 minutes, loosen with a knife all around the cake, all around the pan, And again, if you don't want to use a stoneware like I have, or you don't have it, go ahead and use a 9-inch round cake pan. It really works well. So then, of course, then have a plate, on top. Be careful because the cake's still going to be warm, so you don't want to burn your hands from the pan. And then turn it upside down onto a nice serving plate, okay? Now, I'm going to rinse my hands quickly to show you the baked cake. But I was handling raw eggs, so I want to make sure my hands are washed and rinsed here. Okay. I actually put my cake in the refrigerator just for a little bit, just to cool it down a little bit before the video. I also took the liberty, which is optional. I made a sugar glaze out of powdered sugar and milk. You can use water just to the consistency of the thickness that you want, and I put a glaze over it, and it really comes out so pretty, this cake. You can serve it plain, you can serve it with whipped cream. It's great with vanilla ice cream or your choice of ice cream. I mean, there's so many ways of garnishing this cake if you so choose. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into it here. And it's still a little bit warm because it's sticking to my knife here. And I'll plate it. But I'll be able to at least show you the texture of the cake. Get those nice cherries. And this is how it will come out. It's an extremely light, delicate cake. It's not real dense. It's not real heavy that you might think it is. I don't know if I can safely turn it upside down. You can see how pretty the bottom, nicely brown it is. And then I don't know if you can see as I'm just pushing on this cake, how it springs right back. It's so moist, so delicate. It really just melts in your mouth when you eat it. Also, I want to mention, if you don't want to put the glaze on it, just sprinkle powdered sugar on top too. I mean, this fresh cherry upside down cake is just delicious with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. Now, I won't be putting the ingredients, the recipe below the video, and I'm very sorry about that. But I stopped doing that quite a while ago because not just myself, but other folks that are also on YouTube, people have been taking my work, claiming it's theirs, taking them to other sites. And I think what's the most frustrating, and I mention this during every end of every video, is that I always say, if you try this recipe and you like it, leave a comment, because I like to hear from you. And I do, and I like to answer if there's questions that you have for me. But if you're not watching me solely on YouTube, many times I look at these sites and I see questions that I can't answer. It is so frustrating, besides being upset that people have taken your work. So please watch me on YouTube, and you know, if you get the time and you try the recipe, well, I'd love to hear from you, and I will answer in a reasonable amount of time too. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. If you're so inclined and you want to subscribe, that's fantastic, or even give me a like video. I appreciate every one of you that take the time to write, subscribe, and to watch. I can't thank you all enough. So till I see you next time, thanks again from Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. See you soon.